Hey everyone, this will be a tutorial for making all kinds of customizations to your neon white game. So for example, things like your pilot portrait, your level complete screen, loading icons, audio that plays when you PB, things like that. So the first things you'll need are a program called Melon Loader and a mod for the game called Neon Light. Loki's made a great tutorial here on how to install both of those. So I'll leave a link for this video in the description. So once you've got Melon Loader and Neon Light installed, start up the game, and you should see here that you have whatever version of Neon Light you downloaded, just noted here. So now once you're in game, you can just press F5 and this will open the Melon Preferences Manager console. So once you're in here, you can go to Neon Light UI in game, and at the very top, you'll see Custom Portrait. So this will allow us to change the image in the bottom left corner. So the program we'll use to edit the image in this tutorial will be GIMP. I recommend this because it's free. You can also use Photoshop if you already have that and you're used to that, but for the sake of this tutorial, we'll just go with GIMP. So I'll also have a link for this in the description. After you start up the program, you want to go to File and New, and you want to change the image size to 512 by 512 and hit OK. And you'll get this white box. And then you want to go down here to the bottom right corner and just click this X. And now you have a transparent template. Next, you want to grab your PNG image file. So for this tutorial, I'm going to just use Dante from Devil May Cry as the image. So look for the image you want and just right click and save. I recommend having all of your images in one folder just to keep everything organized. When you come back into GIMP, you can drag and drop your image into the box. And as you can see, it is way too big. So what we need to do is change the size. So we go Shift and S. And you see now we have an image scale. So you can click this little chain and that will independently change the width and the height. But if you click this to lock it, it'll keep the aspect ratio the same. So now we just want to drag this down to about here, just to get it a little bit smaller. And now we want to press M, and this will allow us to move our image. And something like that should be good. So this fits within the 512 by 512 template. When you're happy enough with your image, you can go to File, and you can do Save As first to save the GIMP project. So if you ever want to come back to it later, you can bring it up in GIMP and make changes. And when you want to just save the image itself, you go to Export As and save it in your folder. Now to change your pilot portrait in game, you want to click on the image that you've created in GIMP, left click on Copy Path, and then go back into Neon White. In Neon White, go back to your Melon Preferences Manager, Neon Light UI in game, go to Custom Portraits, paste the file path that you just copied, and you'll see here there's quotation marks on either side. You want to remove those, and then once you're done, click Save Preferences up here at the top. And now, when you restart the level, you will have your new pilot portrait. Then if you want to hide the text on the left-hand side of your portrait, you can go back into Neon Light UI in game, click Disable Player Backstory. Hit Save Preferences, restart, and now there's no text on the left side. There is another mod called Your Story, which can actually customize the text in the backstory to the left of your pilot portrait. So if you wanted to keep it, but you just wanted to change the text, you could use that mod. And I'll have a link for that mod also in the description below. So now that we have our custom pilot, we will also want to change the level end screen. So you can go over to Neon Light UI and you'll see here custom ending image. And this time the canvas size is 2048 by 2048. Back to GIMP again, we go File, New, and this time we're going to change the image size to 2048 by 2048. And okay. And now we have a larger template. So once again, just click the X here in the bottom right corner. And we have a transparent canvas once again. Same procedure again. Find your PNG image online. Right click, save image, and put it in your folder. Again, drag and drop your image and go Control S to change the size. For the level complete image, I recommend making it a little bit smaller. If you have it the maximum size, I will show you what will happen. So when I finish the level, you'll see the image is quite big. It actually doesn't look too bad with this image in particular, but if you have like an image that's wider, it's going to just take up the entire screen. All you need to do is go back into your image in GIMP and Control S and just shrink it down a little bit. Just shrink down the scale and just move it to the center. And depending on your image, this will probably look better. So your ending image works the same as your pilot portrait. You copy the file path, you paste it in here, and you remove the quotations, save preferences, and then just refresh the level, and that's the changes applied. So you'll see now the size has changed. And for your custom loading icon, it's the exact same thing again. Just below custom ending image, you see here custom loading icon. They want the file size to be 256 by 256. So let's get our image. We've got a little logo here we can use as a loading screen. Exact same procedure again. Save it, open it up in GIMP. So one more time, let's go new. Width 256, height 256. Okay, remove the white background with the X here at the bottom corner and paste in your image. Drag and drop one more time. Shift S to scale it down. One thing I will say is when you scale it down, make sure that your image is like still kind of inside the box, because if I move it here to outside the box and I try to press M and drag it over, it won't work. So go Shift S, shrink it a little bit just to keep it inside the canvas. Then you can press M and drag it over. And then you can just make it smaller again. Scale, move it over to the center, maybe adjust it just one more time. And there's our loading icon. And then you want to save this. Copy the file path, copy paste it in, and same procedure as before. So there is also an alignment tool in GIMP. You can press Q, and here you can make it centered. So I just click on my image, and then click here. That'll bring it centered horizontally, and then this one will have it centered vertically. So now when we restart the level, instead of seeing Mikey, we'll have our little icon in the bottom right corner, like so. So the last thing I want to show you is how to crop an image within GIMP. So here we have an example photo. Make sure that over here on the right hand side, you have an alpha channel added. So you right click and then you'll see an option here. If it's like grayed out, then you don't need to add one. But if it's not, make sure you add an alpha channel. So whenever we go to delete everything here in the background, that it's just a transparent image. We're going to want to do a pretty thorough manual crop of this image. So what we want to use is the paths tool. You can use B as the shortcut to switch it on. Then you can hold Control and use the scroll wheel to zoom in and out of the image. So we want to zoom into the corner here. And we just want to left click here. And you want to just continue left clicking all the way around until you've completely cropped the image. While you're moving along this, you can hold Shift and scroll wheel to also move from left to right. So just to make things easier as you go along. When you're doing this, you kind of want to stay like just barely inside the border pixels. So when it is finally cropped, there's not like part of the background image still remaining in the crop. So just be aware of that too. And while you're doing this, you'll also want to like zoom out sometimes just to see what does the perspective look like. Maybe it's like more over here. And if at any point here you accidentally hold left click and cause this to bend, you can just hold Control Z and it'll undo the last mistake that you made. So sometimes you can also accidentally click on one of the previous circles, and if you do that, it will start to like make a new path. So we want to avoid that. So just Control Z again if you notice that happens. And then you want to click on whatever your most recent circle was here and just continue with your original path. So you can be as thorough or as non-thorough as you like. Some of these strands of hair are probably going to be too much work to crop, so I'm just going to ignore those and just continue along here. So once you've finished cropping, you just hold Control and you want to click on your first circle here and it will link everything together. And then you press Enter to highlight it. So if I zoom in here a little bit, you can see that the line being traced has been highlighted. So now if we press the delete key, it's actually going to remove your image. So we don't want to do that. So Control Z just to bring it back. We want to go to select here up at the top and we want to invert. And now if we press delete, it removes the background. And then I'll just press here rectangle select tool and just click anywhere. And now you can see that this is now our cropped image. Then if there's any gaps on the inside, you can go to your select tool again. Just here, for example, I can just come around here, do another path, Control left click to join it all together. And now if you press enter and delete, it will remove the pixels inside your selection. And then once you're happy enough with that, you can save your project, you can export your image and do all the same stuff that we did before. So initially I planned to do both the visuals and the audio in one video, but just for the sake of time, I'll cut this video short and I'll make a second video for all of the audio changes.